Hello stars, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks about paintings and artwork that I wish I knew before I started doing painting and artwork. Reuse old canvases. As an artist and especially a painter, spending money on a canvas is one of my bad habits. So a way I help prevent that is by reusing old canvases. Some of these canvases here are from when I was just 9 years old, and I haven't bought an actual canvas for a few months now. The problem with reusing is not knowing the paint medium you used last, and you don't want to mix certain mediums together because they will crack when they're mixed. Depending on the paints you're using, expensive paints don't mean better. Let me clarify. As someone whose main medium is acrylic and watercolor, acrylic paint to me, everything is the same. Just buy the 90-cent ones you find at Walmart or your local craft store. And for watercolor, you don't need the whole rainbow. So long it has some basic hues and colors, the most you should be spending on your watercolor is 20 bucks. I use Koi watercolors and they've lasted me a few years. You can see the wear and tear through this. It's so apparent. This tip is a bit more basic, but it really helps. We've all been there when you've painted half the canvas and it starts looking off, things missing, centered, things aren't angled right. So, before putting the paintbrush on the canvas, sketch your idea out on a piece of paper. It can be the most sloppy sketch ever, but it will help you find where exactly to place certain objects on your canvas. If you're wondering how to get your art out there without the use of social media, look into local trade shows and marketplaces, make products online, and start an Etsy shop. But if you really need to grow reach, you have to start social media. TikTok is super easy to grow on, and while you do that, you can use that same TikTok for YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. It's really hard to grow from the start, but if you post something every day, you should start to see a small increase. If you're not sure where to start still, try Facebook Marketplace and sell locally. Try to make commissions for friends and family. I'm sure you'll get there one day. Tip number 5. Put a base color down on your canvas before you start painting, preferably the opposing color of what your prominent color on your painting will be. If you're unsure, you can always look up a color wheel and that wheel will give you a good idea on a base. Make the layer sheer so you can see through it to see the canvas, and then paint all over it. And make sure you don't use too many blacks and whites. If your painting is looking good, but you think you're missing something, you probably need to varnish it. Varnish adds a protective layer that can either dry matte or glossy. I typically prefer a glossy finish on my painting. It makes them pop. Be sure to get the proper varnish for your work and wait a few days before varnishing your finished work and using a clean brush or sponge brush or it will end up looking messy and dirty like this. Not my finest painting moments. You see that palette, and that palette, and this palette, and this palette. Depending on the type of paint you're using, your palette can affect your blending of colors. If you're using acrylic, you get lucky and can use most of these. For oil paints, I suggest something like this that dips down on one side. For watercolors, a flat surface like this will work best for you. This one is more of an advice and less of a tip. But tip 8, your art might look off to you, but to someone who knows nothing about art, they'll think it is absolutely amazing and not even notice the flaws us artists can see. But if you're concerned, one tip I enjoy doing is showing my painting in a mirror. It's like the invert tool, but in real life. If you don't have a large mirror on hand, then you can always take a picture with your phone and invert it from there. This is more of a reminder and less of a tip, but don't expect to finish paintings in less than a day. Some paintings take weeks, like these ones, and some take months, like this one here. But there are a few that only take me one day, but these ones you can tell are rushed. So don't rush art. Take your time and focus on what you're painting. The outcome will definitely be a lot better. For my last tip, don't be scared to watch tutorials and follow along certain parts of a picture you need. Even I have a few tutorials on here on some of my art projects. Even tracing. I don't recommend it to sell as your own or to promote or to post, but tracing on your own time to learn a certain style, to learn a certain technique, that's okay. So long you do it on your own and only do it for practice. Follow all my socials in the description to see more of my artwork and subscribe to my YouTube for a variety of art videos and gaming videos. I hope you all have a good day, stars. Bye! The amount of time it took to get so many takes. I've taken like 80 takes all just for that. Ah!